Hello, I wasn't going to start this till the new year. I was going to have the new year and start my American podcasts. But there's a storm on Twitter about America being dumbed down, that American companies are employing ethnic minorities over natural Americans. I think this is something that's been in the making. I think it's oversimplified. There was a book written by education czar of Ronald Reagan. She put out a book called Dumbing Down America, and it's happened here in Britain. I think it's the making of the DEI woke education. I don't think it's the American people as themselves. Some of them will rise, some of them will excel. But the problem is we're not allowing people to excel in America and here. So this is something that's been in the making, not because they're American. It's because they haven't had the education that they should have had, because it ain't there. You know, they talk about useless degrees. You know, you meet students that got MAs and BScs and all the rest of it, and they don't know a lot. You know, when I was at school, we did First World War, Second World War, the Industrial Revolution, Agricultural Revolution. We did kings through the ages, the Civil War. We did everything, a little bit about everything. I'm not going to say I was ever an expert at it, but it gave you the grounding to find things out when you got older. Today, a teacher friend of mine started teaching history, and he went to college, done his year's teacher training, then went on to do a history theory course, and it stopped at 1860. Now the same's happening in America. They're dumbed down education, like the book said, dumbing down America. They dumb down education, and the result is what's happening today. It's woke politics. DEI is an example of this. You know, if you have a test and you've got 50 people in a room, they've all got to have 75% and win. Or, you know, pass. That's DEI. Now, it's natural for some people to be, I want to use the right word, a higher academic standard than others. You get people that are good at history, people are good at maths, people are good at English. But what they try and do is try and get you all to have the same level of education. So people that would excel are held back, and people that are struggling then find themselves elevated. You know, and this is happening in business as well. I worked for the civil service, and I couldn't believe the stupidity of management. I was on the union in the civil service, and nobody could do any wrong. You know, nothing but a direct hit from a Zeppelin ray could ever sack anybody. There was one guy that got sacked, and that's because he kept turning up late every day. But that's you know, the exception to the rule. You know, to get rid of somebody out of the civil service, they got to give you a verbal warning. Then they got to give you written warnings. Then you go for an interview. and then you get a final warning. And it takes, I don't know, it could take a year. You know, I only ever had one verbal warning when I was in the civil service for 6 years. And I only ever had one verbal warning. And it was something absolutely stupid. I was walking along the corridor of a different department than mine. The door was open to an office, and the guy in there said, "Morning, Ian," and I said, "Morning back," and we had a little chat. Now, somebody walked past me, behind me, who didn't like me. I was reporting for unnecessary talking and disturbing him from working when he approached me. So I got called into the office, and it was unnecessary talking. This is a verbal warning. And I said, well, he talked to me first, and I replied. I said, on my contract of employment, it says to be courteous and friendly to other members of staff, which is what I was doing. Well, this is what's happening with everything today. Everything's ass backwards again. And it's woke politics, DEI. Now, the other thing I want to talk about, apart from the Twitter storm about the education in America, is there are reports that Trudeau and Trump are talking about Canada becoming the 51st state of America. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if it's true. Trump joked that Trudeau would be the governor of Canada. You know, how can our government, Starmer and Lammy, who's the foreign secretary, allow a Commonwealth country, because Canada is part of the Commonwealth, and we have India, Pakistan, Australia, the West Indies, they're all part of the Commonwealth. It used to be the British Empire, but they're all independent now, but we're a family of nations as a Commonwealth. How can Starmer and Lammy allow one of the Commonwealth countries to be taken over by America? I think it will be good under Trump, but that's not the point. The point is that our government has not said a word. Not a word about it. There's nothing about it on our press. Well, the only people talking about it is American bloggers. Is Canada going to become the 51st state of America? I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Canada would have to referendum, and I think they want to still keep their independence and be a part of the Commonwealth. Donald Trump is talking about the Panama Canal. Now, the Panama Canal is in all sorts of trouble. They've got a lake in the mountains that's water's used to refill the locks and that, and the canal. And it's drying up. It hasn't got enough water in there. The Chinese have moved in and started helping Panama. And the prices that ships have got to pay to go through the Panama Canal now are absolutely astronomical. A friend of mine's a sailor, and he's been through the Panama Canal 2 or 3 times. I had a chat with him a couple of days ago. He told me that if you got a sailing ship, they used to tie 3 of them together and go behind the big ships into the locks. And they used to be able to go through free. Because when you get to Panama, the sailing ships were buying supplies and food from Panama. The big ships won't, because they carry enough stores. So that's why they allowed the sailing ships to go through free. Not anymore. Sailing ships are now charged per foot to go through the Panama Canal. So Trump wants to sort out the Panama Canal. The prices that the ships are having to pay to go through is putting the prices up to the United States for everything that's coming from China. That's why China wants to control the Panama Canal. One, so it can get its ships through, and secondly, so it can make money. I expect they're making money off the back of Panama. How many backhanders they're getting, God only knows. So Trump's got the right idea that he wants to sort Panama Canal out, but it'll be the good of everybody. And that's all I wanted to talk about today. It's not a lot, but things are happening, and I just want to keep up to date. But like I said, I wasn't going to start this until the new year. But things are coming out from all over the place. Anyway, Ian, Somerset News Network in the UK, doing my American podcast for the second time. Bye-bye.